All right, weekend sports betting tips on the Barroom Network. I'm your host, Tooch. Got the award-winning handicapper Sean Higgs here. Sean, I got, let's see, I'm doing that World Series of handicapping. I'm in fourth place.
There you go.
Yeah, not doing too bad.
Put that back up again.
All right. You know any of these guys? I don't know. I couldn't get the whole screen, but I'm up, what? How many units? I'm up 61 units on the season. That's not bad.
And the thing is, when you do a contest like picking, it is tough.
Yeah.
I did a show today. I was with Scott Pritchard was on, Mark Lawrence, and we were all in the Circuit Invitational, not the or VSiN Invitational, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Paul Bovey, another guy's on the side of me. And it's a contest, 25 guys and gals. There's, Kelly from Vegas was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling Mark, I said, the first 2 weeks, I said, I had a rough first 2 weeks. And then, panicked isn't the right word, but I guess it is the right word. Contest picking is so much different than just regular kind of stuff, and everybody, if you ever saw when they send out the picks for those contests for anything, Circa Millions, the Hilton or Westgate, whatever it is, last man standing. Everybody's kind of moving together as a herd. Like everybody's on the Cowboys today. Everybody's on the Chiefs, whatever. The majority are all going one direction because it's about accumulating wins and staying to the top. And just after 2 weeks, I'm like, you know what? I was trying to get slick, and I was trying to do 7 games that they weren't going to pick for me to go 7-0 and pick up 7 wins. Where you can't do that in a contest. You have to kind of stay with who you're involved with. You got to know your competition. Everybody's going to be a dog guy or whatever the case may be. You got to kind of think how they think to keep it the same. So you're eliminating wins. So if they win, you win. If you lose, they lose. So you're not hurting yourself. And then if you pick up a game somewhere where they don't have one, that's the key. Not being they got 7 games and I have 7 games. We're going to have to. No, you don't want that. You want like 5-2 or 4. You want to be on the same, because when you all win, no one's getting hurt. And if you look at a lot of these contests, everybody's on the Titans this week, right? It's always like, well, who are these picks? Yeah. Everybody at the top is going to be one way. They're all going the same direction. But then it's like you have someone's going to make a move. Now we're late in the season, right? So now it's kind of like I'm not going to stick with everybody. I'm going to try to break away from the pack. Instead of going 5 for 7 or 4 for 7, I'm going to go 2 for 7 because I'm going to go 5 my own way, right? I'm going to go and try to separate. Contests are difficult. I mean, I've never won one.
Difficult.
I've never even been close to one. Close to the money back when the Hilton would do like a top 25 pay. I was like in the top like 50 or 60. So I was like sort of there. Then it went to 100. I was on the outskirts again. But it is at least for me, I'm so stubborn, Tooch, where I'm like, you know what? I'm going dogs all the time early first 2 weeks, or I'm going dogs and then all faves. Instead of just saying, you know what, this is a contest. I don't have the entire season. There's an elimination round, or you just get so far behind. I can't just take dogs and go 3-4 every week or 2-5 and just then turn it on in December and go 6-1. At that point, it's worthless. I'm out of the money, Yep. So I always say I'm going to change. I never do.
Anthony told me to enter this one. I'm like, what the fuck? I'll do it. I've been doing like a nice mix of totals, dogs, and favorites. I've been staying near the top. This season, and I learned a lot from you and from Anthony this past year. I've taken a lot more dogs in college basketball. You and Anthony are get my college basketball picks.
You have to take some dogs.
Yeah, and college basketball just been. If it looks too many points, I'm taking the dog in college basketball this year, and it's been really profitable.
I'm just printing out a bunch of games. We have 100-something games tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I know. I got to start working. After the show ends, I'll be breaking down some.
And normally I'm on that. Usually I've already, when we're doing this, I'll be writing down my last 20 games and just going from my sheet to writing down the lines. Yep. I'm just getting started now because you know what? As much as I've had, I'm 121 and 89 on the year. I'm having a good basketball season. I'm number one on the winner free pick page, winners and lines, whatever. Having a good basketball season. But tomorrow I look at it, I'm like, you know what? Do I really have to, college football has been really good. NFL, I'm 66 and 69. Do I really got to come and have 40 games tomorrow? Again, like I said, I just printed everything out, got my rotation here, got everything done. I'll see. Maybe I'll have a bunch of games. Maybe I'll have 4.
Yeah.
It's
I've been keeping it light this year. It's been pretty good.
It's funny because opening day I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 games opening night. I went 12 and 7.
Nice.
I've been nowhere near that since. Couple 5 and 5, some 4 and 3s, nowhere near opening day amount of games.
Yeah, and then I will say the first week of college basketball is just stay away because it's there's no data. It's too hard to tell. So that's really good, man. I would just say my last 7, I'm 15 or 16 and 9. My last 7 days. So that's where I've been hammered it this past few weeks. I get a lot more data.
I had a winner last night, 2-1 the day before. That's 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3. So 6-3, and then I had a big day, and I went 3-4. So 6-3, and then a 3-4 day. Then there's a 4-6 day. So 4-6, and then the 3-4, whatever. It's some days they look good. You don't have to run out. I don't know. Sometimes I got to get a little choosier. Maybe more. Not the right word, but more select.
Yeah, more selective.
And just not dive right into the lines. Sometimes the line. Again, we've talked about it. If you don't have KenPom, pay the $25.
Yeah,
have KenPom. It's good for looking ahead of games. You're going to have a rough estimate of what the line's going to be already.
Yep.
And then, even if you don't have a way to come up with your own number, you should have a number, though. You should. I mean, if you're going to bet a game, if you think, well, Clemson's playing Memphis tomorrow, I think the line should be 4, and you see it's opening at 7 or whatever it is, you should be like, oh, all right.
Jump on it.
I kind of like, right, because you kind of like a team, but you need a jump off. So I'll use a guy like KenPom or Bartovic. They have all the numbers that everybody else wants to use. They got the defense. They got this. They got that. Save yourself the headache. It's way too much work now. It's a whole lot.
Way too much work.
It's a lot. It is. It's a lot of stuff. Yep. It's like football season coming. Go get a preview magazine for the sports.
Yep.
See, guys transfer. Forget college basketball. I mean, college football. The portal. 1,000 guys into the portal last week.
The portal, NIL. It's crazy. You
need a little help. StatFox. There's plenty of sites that do different things. Yep. But if one's going to kind of do a lot of it for you, pay the man for his work, and it's a good jump off for the average person.
It's amazing how close the lines are to KenPom.
They, 5 years ago, it was like a no-brainer. KenPom, like, wow, because he was using different kind of methods to come to his number, and he was way ahead of the books with their defense and the synergy because of the tempo and this and that and points possessed. Yeah, he was way ahead of the curve.
Offensive, defensive efficiency.
Now you open up a thing in the early line from FanDuel or DraftKings or some offshore. It is basically a spit of his number. It maybe the total's a half point. It's 142. Yep. He's got one. They got 142 and a half. He's got 141.
Yep. Not much edge.
There is So again, you got to have, and we'll be talking football. You should have an idea what you think a line's going to be.
Yep. Make your own lines. Wednesday I sent one college basketball play. And I doubled my unit on one college basketball play. It was Iowa State at Iowa. And I had looked at all the numbers. I crunched all the numbers. Said, there's no way that I mean, Iowa just is not as good. Iowa State is a really good team this year.
Yeah.
They may lag behind. Iowa may take the first half. But eventually, Iowa State's defense and their ability to score and pressure is going to take over. And they won by 9. I had 5.5. I think I gave out at 5. And I was hoping you guys played that one. That one I was really.
Here's
sure
the thing,
of.
though, with that, as good as that one looked, the other team didn't score for the last 6 minutes again. I mean, they were up, and then all of a sudden, that's one where you're happy to get that one. Like, all right, that was a lucky one there.
And then the past couple days have gone 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. If I give out 3 plays, and I'll take that any day.
Just listen. Because when they go against you, they pile up in a hurry. So just
yep. And then this year, since working with you and Anthony, I've focused on managing my bankroll. And that's a big part of it too. Managing the bankroll. You don't want to. Sometimes the best bet is the bet you don't make. So not wagering too much on something. You can look at a game and say, "I love this game," and you want to hammer it. 5 units.
But
yep, and then it doesn't turn out. You can't. You gotta be disciplined.
You can't. I get it. And that's what I do a lot with my football and college hoops.
Mm-hmm.
College football. I have all sides and totals, 126 and 94. I mean, 200 plus games. You're gonna just be bouncing around. You can't just be bouncing around. That's what it comes back to a contest. And for me, anytime I've kind of gotten out of my little rhythm and stuff, I say, well, I'm gonna just unload on this one. You know what? That's the loser. And it's a 6-2 day, but I end up breaking even, and I can't do that.
Yep.
Yep. So
exactly,
the gambling gods for me, I got to know my ways, and that is whenever I kind of step out of my box, it doesn't work for me.
Nope.
I'll be the same. I'll be the same. It's fine. I'll grind it out. And I'm still here doing my thing for 20 years. It is what it is.
And don't chase. You want to end of the night. Don't chase. Somebody like that West Coast basketball game. I'm going to throw them at a break even. Throwing it. That's when you really get in trouble.
And that's another thing I tell people. They're like, oh, you don't watch the game? I'm not watching the game, bro. I'm getting offline, and that's it. I'm going to sit. I'll watch Burn Notice. I'll turn on a TV show. I'll watch whatever. Just sit with the wife and talk for a little bit.
With the wife. Yep.
Just sitting on the couch and just decompressing because my head hurts from our ring light. Like sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, my head, my eyes. You need a break from the screens. I'm just like,
massive
let me just
headache.
go and sit here. I'll sit here and just listen to the house creak and like birds outside or something. You know what I'm saying? Just go. You don't have to play the game. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Yep.
There's no, jump online and see what's live in China for basketball. Oh, there's some soccer going on. There's soccer in
New Zealand basketball.
Yeah, where are you aficionados on that? You can't even win an NFL. People they're like, I had a loser, but I'm going to jump into some Chinese women's basketball.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Knock yourself out. Have fun. Don't go to bed too late because you got to wake up to go to your job in the morning. What are you doing? Go to bed.
Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah,
a service academy game, Navy versus Army. Army won the AAC, finished first. Navy 8-3, finished third. Army 11-1. Their quarterback rushed for 29 touchdowns. Bryson Daly. They've gotten good play from Navy on the other side of the ball from their quarterback Horvath. Service academy unders 45, 10-4 the last 50 or 60 times. I like the over. I don't know.
I'm with you on the over.
Yeah.
We talk about this and it pops up in midday man. People are like, hey, got to just take the under in these service academy. And I get it. You know what?
Yep.
8 years ago, the total was 52.5. It dropped to 27 last year. I like the over. Army has put up points against everyone they played. Yep. I think, both of these guys get tripped up by Navy. Or excuse me, by Notre Dame. Got them both, right?
Yep.
Navy actually scored a couple more points. Yes, they play each other and they're familiar with the option and all this nonsense. I think Army's a good team. Army's bowl game. I got Army at -9, 9.5 for bowl game. Yeah, they're a 16-point favorite now.
Yeah.
I think this, again, 39.5, I'll go over because I think Army's going to score in the 20s, maybe even 30 here. I think this is going to be like a 34-20 game. I think
Get Navy can get to 20.
They throw the ball a little bit here. Army's quarterback's throwing for some touchdown passes this year.
Yep.
I'm with you on the over. I'm with you on the over here.
All right. Any thoughts on the side?
I would lean Army just because, you know what? They went in here. They won the AAC first year. They joined Navy in the American Conference.
Yep.
They're a tough little squad. I mean, would they beat Notre Dame? It would have been cool to see them in a playoff type thing. But listen, they're a good little program. The 6 though looks low because I think Army is better. And as I mentioned, I got a fly in the house. I think they're a team that's going to score here, but the 6 looks low. Like, why do I?
Yeah, it looks low.
I thought
just because of the rivalry. It's going to be intense.
It'd be like an 8. Or that's where I have it at. I think Army covers it, but it's like I'm just going to stay away. I do like the over.
I think so. I think if it got to 7.5, I might think about pushing back against the market and take Navy plus all those points. But now, where it's sitting, 6.
It's weird because I would rather it be higher than be more comfortable with Army at a higher number because that's where that's where I have it in my head. So I'm thinking,
we got 2.5 points edge.
This looks a little low. Like I'm like, it's. Is this a Navy money line kind of spot? Is it a field goal, like a field goal type feel for it?
Yeah.
And that's what the 6 tells me. They think it's a field goal game.
There's one other game tomorrow in college football, South Alabama, Western Michigan. I think it's a neutral site game. It's a bowl game. Initially, I looked at this game and I said 8.5, and it was 9.5. So it's moving a little money coming out of Western Michigan. I thought, but initially, it's too many points for a bowl game. But then I looked at Western Michigan hasn't played anybody. South Alabama's actually played some teams. They played LSU, Troy, Texas State. They played in Louisiana Lafayette, Raging Cajuns. They're not going to beat a team like LSU, but they have played a much harder schedule. Western Michigan, of course, is one of the MAC teams. Yeah. They kind of limped into this thing. They were 1-3 their last 4. Any thoughts of this game? I'm not laying 8. This is a stay away for me. I might look at an over because both these teams are all offense and no defense.
You have, South Alabama's quarterback's out. They lost their rusher to the portal, so that's not good.
Yeah.
The lines come down from a 10.5 to an 8.
Yep.
I would lean Western Michigan just based on a team with no quarterback and your running backs are out, and this
too many points.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is a Sun Belt team? What are these guys out of?
What are they?
Conference USA, maybe.
South Alabama. They're Sun Belt.
Right.
Sun Belt versus the MAC, and they finished 11th in the Sun Belt, Sean.
I mean, what are we doing here? And is Western Michigan again? Toledo, and you got the top of the MAC.
I didn't know that their quarterback was out.
Yeah,
that makes a huge difference because then I might lean under because 57.5, a lot of points.
Yeah, I could probably go in an under spot here.
Yeah, yep. Neither of these teams is very good at defense.
So it's back up to a 9, so maybe one of the running backs is playing. The total was 59.5. It's come down.
Yep.
Again, and you get back to the Army game, that opened at like a 3-4 and it went up to a 6, and I have it at an 8, and I'm thinking it's low at a 6. So that's all you need to know about the game.
Yep.
But here, which you want to go dog and under, that'd be fine with me. Yeah, and I have nothing on this game. It's like, do we really? This is what we're talking about. You don't got to play it, folks, just because there's your Armed Forces Bowl or whatever this is called, the Salute to Veterans.
Right.
I get it. And you think South Alabama, a couple, hours from home, you'll have a good crowd.
Yeah.
You don't got to bet it.
Don't got to bet it. Yeah. Let's get to some NFL, man. Really nice game opening up on the schedule. Dolphins and Texans. Only a 3-point line here. I like the under in this game, man. Dolphins have been pretty much an under team with a few eruptions since Tua came back. Both teams are playing good defense. I don't like the matchup for Tua because the the Texans' pass rush has been pretty good all season long. And when he's pressured, Tua tends to not be as good. Then but he's made plays under pressure. But turnover-worthy play rate of 7.1% when he's pressured. I don't like. I mean, 46 and a half. I think he's 47 now.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking under here. I think both these teams can play some defense. The Texans have not been that good on offense this year, Sean. The Dolphins can shut down the run. The Texans can shut down the run. What are you thinking here?
I like Miami one, right? I'm getting 3 points. And you mentioned Tua's been back. 32 points, 34, 34, 23, 27, 27. 17 in Green Bay. Again, that was in Green Bay, but he still plus
in the snow.
350 yards too, by the way. So the offense has been moving. This one looks like it's an easy over. And I was like, you know what? Texans are 3-6-1 to the under. And I was with, like I said, I was talking with Mark Pritchard and Scott Pritchard and Mark Lawrence today. And I'm like, I was thinking about an over in this game, but Texans 3-6-1 in the last 10. It's an under team. You look at these scores for them, Tooch. 23-20. Three times in the last 10 games, they had a 23-20 score. A 24-20 and a 24-22 would have all sailed under this total. I mean, that's half their games are basically 23-20. And Scott brought up the fact, he's like, you know what? He's like,
how about play an exact score? You ever play an exact score?
He's like, that's a good point. He's like, but you know what you got to like here? He's like, you have to like the over. He's like, the line's 2.5, 3, which tells you it's a field goal game. And you ran up all the scores, 3 23-20s and 2 24-22 and a 22 or 24-20 and 24-22 game. You can get an overtime out of this one. Like, is this one where you want to come in and you want to play an exotic? Will there be an overtime? Right. This would be a prime example. I mean, 23-20, that is the going rate for games. Texans have done it 3 times. They've done it 3 times in the last 10, and they have a 24-20 and a 24-22 game mixed in there, all right in that same kind of frame of scores. So, one, I think the points, you got to take Dolphins. At worst, you get a push, the way the Texans have played in 5 of those 10 games. Not even counting, so 5 games, you got to, if it's the Texans winning all 5 of those scores, and I don't have the scores right in front of me, so I don't know. If they won all 5 of those, you're covering in every one. So you're 5-0 with the plus, or you got 3 pushes and you got 2 wins, right? So you're not losing.
So
if you had the under, you're perfect to the under there. And if you're, again, imagine having the over in these games when the total's 45.5 and 46.5.
Well, and I know a lot of people had the over last night.
You're losing those by half a point. Yeah, but that was an over. It was a 50. I mean, that's not. I mean, this is a little different when the total's 47 and it's 23-20. You're losing by.
How many points last night? 18. I think.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So give me
no touchdown.
I would say for this one, I like the Dolphins.
Yep.
But as a crazy play, I'd say let's do an overtime in this one. It would be an overtime. Would it be an overtime? Yes.
Yeah, will it be an overtime? How about a couple exact score plays? 23-20, 24-20, 23-20-23,
Yeah, but if you get into those, then you play all 3 of them. I don't know what the odds are.
Quarter unit, 1/10 of a unit on each one.
If one will pay you more than the other 2 losers all together, it'd be worth it. Otherwise, I'd say, take the whatever it is for the OT.
All right, yeah.
I wonder what that is here. I wonder if there's – head over to DK, see if they have anything like that up right now. All right, move on here. We'll hit another one.
All right, let's get on to the next game here. I know this isn't the most interesting game. I want to get your thoughts on it because I think Derek Carr might not play.
He's out.
Okay.
Yeah. Hayner's got the start already. They named him the starter on Thursday.
Spencer Rattler or Jake Hayner, whoever's playing, they're terrible whenever the other guy starts. Without Derek Carr, they're no good. 7.5. I hate the fact that they hung that hook on there, but I think the Commanders cover.
Well, I have Washington, but I have Washington at a -3.5 here from last week. Before, again, quarterback goes out.
Yep.
I was looking at Washington anyway because I'm coming out of a bye week. Who's my
coming
loss
out of a bye. Yep.
Yeah, I lost to the Steelers on the bye week. I lose a crazy kind of game to Dallas. I lost to an Eagle team that looks really good. So that's fine. And I'm growing as a young team, right? They got a rookie quarterback. They're kind of Do you really want to take the Saints? The Saints, even with Carr playing, won 14-11 against. Now, I had the Giants last week.
Against
I was
the
like, we're
Giants.
taking the Giants. You know, do I want to lay 7.5? I don't really hate it because who's hating? Who's he throwing? I get they got Kamara. What else do they have?
Nothing.
I got a team coming off of
They got no Taysom Hill.
And they got a playoff spot on.
No Chris Olave.
No Olave. I got this. I don't know.
No.
My door, the front door opens up for 2 seconds. My son's friends come in. How long is the door open? And a fly gets in the house?
The fly. Man, we got snow on the ground. I don't even know if flies left in Iowa.
I'm trying to see. I pulled up the I'm seeing if there's an overtime prop here on this game.
Yeah. You want me to look it up too? Or?
I'm seeing.
Got it almost.
Well, I mean, it's not something I normally look for, so I don't know where DraftKings would have it under.
It'd be under game props.
Overtime, yes, 1,400.
Yes.
So 14-1. I mean, I don't hate. You want to do a 14-1 for $25, $10, $100, whatever your bankroll is.
Throw if I have a bonus bet, $10.
I think it'll be worth a shot. I do.
Yeah, I do too. Yep. All right, so back to Commander Saints. Commander 7.5. Still like the number. I would love to have a 3.5, man. I would be hammered a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd still. Yeah, but again, here's the thing, Tooch. People, that line was out there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No one, but again, people are going to wake up here on Sunday morning like, I got to bet it. I'm not waiting for Sunday.
No,
that line's way gone.
This is why people you got to listen to Look Ahead Lines with Sean Higgs every day.
You got, I mean, and like I said with the Look Ahead Line show, the lines come out Wednesday. You should have a number what you think the line's going to be. The lines come out on Wednesday, and as I said to you, Tooch, write them down on a Sunday morning because the lines are there for next week. And watch with just the outcome of a game how it changes the perception of a team. One game.
Yep, coming off a bye, I love it. But do they cover 7.5?
I do. I mean,
so.
The Saints. The Saints got some wins. I don't know what kind of mojo they got going on there in the stadium. Guys just come down there and start missing field goals. Like I paid them the other time. They won. I'm like, you know what? They're not winning again. Nobody's coming there missing 2 more field. Yeah, the Falcons come in, miss 3 more field goals, and like it's just bizarre how kickers go down there and forget how to kick indoors. But listen, I don't like the Rizzler there who runs the Saints. Right, Rizzy's the new coach. I don't think it's a good team. And Commanders. Out of the bye, let's go right out of the gate. Get a win. You're headed to the playoffs.
They won their last game against the Titans, but before that, they lost 3 in a row. They lost at home to the Cowboys.
You lost to the Steelers coming out. You lost to the Steelers coming out of a bye week. You lose to the Eagles, who are in first place and are going to be the 2 seed. And you lost a crazy game to Dallas in a rivalry game, which nobody gave you. And there's another one. You were a 6-point underdog in August, and then you're a 10-point favorite. Yeah. Come on. That's just a bad spot.
That line closed at Commanders -11.
Yes. It was that's fine. I'm not and then you just trounced Tennessee who usually comes with a defense at home.
Minus 6 was that line. So -7.5 versus Saints who
I don't hate this.
They're around the same level as the Titans, the Saints, I would say.
But you're on the road. So what would this be at home? Would you be laying 12 at home? Like if you're laying
10.5.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if you're laying 6 at home to Tennessee and you're laying 7 on the road, what are you laying? 10 at home, 11, 12, 13? Yeah. I still like the Commanders. They should win this game. It should be a 10-point win. If they're really a playoff team and Daniels is taking a step forward, take care of business versus a bad team.
Yep.
And the bye week is huge. A December bye week is humongous. Yeah. Everybody else is patching injury lists together.
Yep.
I think it's a win.
I think so too. Chiefs-Browns is an interesting game. The Chiefs have played teams tight. I mean, they just barely escaped a win at Carolina. Were they at home versus Carolina? No, they were at Carolina.
It was on the road. 10 points. I had Carolina that game. Carolina off a bye week. Then you have the Chiefs off of a road game.
Yep.
Against Atlanta. They got gifted a win there. But Kansas City's won, I think, 15 games now, 1-score games or something along those lines. They don't cover. This line was 6.5. Of course, it gets hammered down because how are they going down? Anything you've seen out of them tells you this is going to be a field goal game.
Yep.
And on the Browns side, Yeah.
Oh,
Winston comes in.
I got the lines reversed. It's Chiefs -3. Sorry about that.
He's a gunslinger. He's giving you a shot. That team does not quit. They love their coach. You got a quarterback who fights and is going to throw and do whatever he's got to do here. Even at 4, I think Cleveland wins this one outright. I'm not even going to
look at the score of their last 2 games. The Chiefs.
I'll take Cleveland outright.
1917. This feels like a 1917 game again.
If they keep playing again, right? We joke. You play with fire, you're gonna get burnt. That's all they've done the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
What do you beat the Chargers on the road with Easton Stick? You beat them by 10 with Easton Stick, and then you still look terrible. So I'm gonna take Cleveland. I'll take Cleveland. I'll take even money line. I think Cleveland wins.
Okay,
that's it.
Nice. All right, we're gonna go Steelers Eagles. So Tomlin's had a lot of success versus the Eagles. And this is one of the best games of the weekend, I think. Rivalry, all this stuff. Head to head, it's been pretty split. They've been the Eagles got them a couple years back, 35-13. Tomlin, though, you can't underestimate his ability to keep a close game. You're getting 5.5 with it, but the Eagles in this rivalry they can explode too. The Steelers are going to be missing George Pickens, I think, who's a big part of their
Pickens is out for Pittsburgh
attack. And I don't like that. I mean, look, the defense of the Eagles has really stepped it up past few weeks, looking a lot better. The Steelers have been playing good defense all season long. I might think about an under here, Sean.
I mean, the Steelers, whatever you say about the Steelers, they are 10-3 ATS. All right, they're 10-3 against the number, and you want to get him as a dog. This is him as a dog. This is where he does his best work.
Yep.
Now, 5.5. The line has moved a little bit here. It's gone up, which is a rare to see because Tomlin as a dog is usually the play.
Yep.
Usually the play here. Phillies just look so good. They have. I mean, listen, throughout the head-to-head, they haven't played together in 2 years, and even them. I mean, we're gonna talk about a 2016 game. Like, well, they beat them here 34-3. Yep. Well, all right, that was Ben Roethlisberger versus Carson Wentz, and the Steelers were terrible, and the Eagles were in the Super Bowl that year. So that, folks, you don't have to. I know, people like to dig into the database and bring up stuff, but I like to see especially who's quarterbacking on some of these teams back in the day. I mean, let's, you see it's, Brian Leftwich versus, Kevin Kolb. Does it make a difference in the thing here?
And usually the home team has won this game. If you look back, the home team has won.
You think you want to just run to take Pittsburgh, right? That would be the play. Let's run, take Pittsburgh as a dog.
Right.
The fact that it's gone up a little bit here to 5.5 to 6, I don't know. Maybe I want to take Philly here. Philly's been really hot lately. Forget about, again, last week's games. They'd be like, well, they almost lost to Carolina. Yeah. Well, they were double-digit favorites, Carolina, so who cares? They probably went in there thinking we're going to win this game, and they got a little more than they bargained for when they had this game on deck.
Yep.
And again, it's not versus the Cowboys or the Redskins or the Giants, but it's still Pittsburgh.
They just came off a road win against Baltimore,
right?
The week before that.
That's a flat kind of spot.
Flat, very flat. I mean, you were on the Panthers for a long time. You want to sprinkle a little bit on the money line. Carolina had the lead a couple times in that game, man.
Again, sometimes there's just spots like that. What am I going to do? I'm going to go against. They've won 9 in a row, and the Steelers, again, no slouches. I mean, they had the loss in there versus Cleveland, but you look at the other thing like that. You got 7 wins in 8 games.
I look back and I said, Kansas City went to Baltimore. And I said, Kansas City's not going undefeated. This is the most likely game they'll lose. Give me the Bills plus 2.5 in that game. Yeah. And boom, home dog. Boom, we got it. Here, Steelers, I'm kind of with you. The Eagles are hot. The only thing, let me play devil's advocate for a minute here. Jalen Hurts has not thrown the ball well this season. This is a run-first team, and the Steelers can stop the run, man. They're going to beat up in the trenches, man. The Steelers will stop the run. However, they do have a great offensive line, a great running game. I just don't like their quarterback. If you're talking about edge at quarterback, Russell Wilson is a better quarterback, but he doesn't have the horses like Jalen Hurts does.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You hear Brown's like, oh, they're not throwing me the ball enough. Like he's whining a little bit. You know what? Whine all you want. You're throwing the ball well. Well,
Yep.
You're running the ball well. You're still doing 200 yards passing, 200 yards rushing a game. You're winning. Like, what are we talking about here, Eagles fans? I mean, you're 11-2. You're in the driver's seat for a 2 seed. You might have to go to Detroit. Whatever. You know what? You got a puncher's chance in Detroit because their coach is a maniac who goes for 4th and 3 on his own 22-yard line. And you're going to be in. You don't have to worry about the elements. You got speed. You know, you're fine. You're fine. Stop complaining. Like you said, Russell's been great, but you're missing your best guy. I see again, it ticked up a little bit. I want to just lean Eagles here. I think it's going to scoring wise, probably an under. I'd probably lean under because if I'm going to go against
the score last week against the Panthers was 38 points only.
Yeah, but that's the Panthers defense.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's going to show up with a defense.
Much better defense. Yeah. And that game still went under by 7 points.
They know what they have to do here. They're going to be limited. It's not going to be some crazy game. If I'm not taking 5.5, I still like the under because I think it's going to be a 20. I'd be shocked at 20-10, and you're right. You're right there for a cover either way.
Yep. Yeah. To me, it feels like a 10-7 game at halftime.
Yeah.
All right. So leaning under here. Sean kind of leans Eagles here, minus 5.5. Buccaneers, Chargers. Both these teams could be in the playoffs here if they play their cards right towards the end of the season. Buccaneers +3. They're question marks on offense with the injuries for the Buccaneers. The Chargers are coming off a loss to the Chiefs last week, 19-17. I kind of like the under here, man. Both these teams are struggling to put points. I mean, the Buccaneers will throw some points on you if they play a bad defense. The Chargers are a good defense.
Yeah, but you got the Chargers off back-to-back road games. They got gifted a win in Atlanta. They almost got another one in Kansas City with the Doinkin off the upright. And that was spot. Listen, I had Kansas City thinking we're going to get a good game here against a division rival who's off a road game, which they probably should have lost. Where and again, this was me thinking injuries are going to be on these guys. Like, fellas, can we stop with this nonsense? I thought they were going to punch it in because so many kickers have been missing field goals, chippies, long ones. You're on a backup guy yourself. Dude, the fact that he only missed that, like, I'm worried about my 4 because I could see them being down 2 instead of kicking a field goal, going for it on 4th and 3 from the 7 and scoring a touchdown or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this game here, I like Tampa Bay. Now, they hit again, they had a 4-game losing streak. They just won 3 in a row, but they lost to Baltimore, Atlanta, Kansas City, and San Fran. Now, you're upset losing to Baltimore.
Tough teams, man.
Then you have an Atlanta home because that's a sandwich spot. As much as it's a rivalry game, you had Kansas City the next week, who you played to an
That was an overtime game, yeah.
And then you had San Fran come, and San Fran's been down. They're down. But they were coming out of a bye week. They had CMC back, and they were a 6-point underdog, Tampa. And a blocked field goal cost them a win there. That's not a bad loss, losing on a blocked field goal when you're a 6-point dog.
Yep.
Losing in overtime on the road to Kansas City where you don't get the ball in overtime.
They got
a
good
rivalry game after Baltimore. I mean, like, a 4-game losing streak, that's fine because you just run off 3 in a row. I like Tampa. I think Baker's underrated. You got Evans. You got some guys back here. And the Chargers, their defense first. I don't like the offense. The offense is ugly.
Yep.
Chargers have given up what I think 20
it's
points.
It's going to be a close game.
Yep. They don't give up a bunch of points. They've given up 24 times this year. All right, how many? 1, 2, 3 times? Like not a lot. Twice.
Yep.
And Cincinnati scored 27 and Baltimore scored 30. Nothing else. Everything 17-17. I'll take any points in a game that's going to be a close game because Tampa's scrappy. Tampa's a scrappy bunch. I'll take the points. Here.
Justin Herbert hasn't thrown the ball well this season.
No.
J.K. Dobbins is out.
I know. Is McConkey still hurt?
McConkey is banged up. He may or may not play. Same with Bucky Irving, though, for the Buccaneers. May or may not play. But besides Bucky Irving, they've got 2 other good running backs as well. It doesn't bother me too much. I'm on the under here. I think this game stays under 45. I think this is like a 23-20 game.
Probably with the defense, yes.
Yep. This is the best game of the week, Sean. The Bills at the Lions. The Bills just keep finding a way to win, man. Josh Allen, man, he's got to be the MVP this season. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I think the MVP is going to be decided in this game here. What happens in this game?
Yep.
This will somebody's going to get the leg up here. Is it going to be Goff? Is it going to be Allen? You're home. Here comes Dan Campbell. Who's going to do something crazy. I got an over 51. It jumped up after a 44-42 game in LA.
The highest total of the year.
This is a crazy total. And you know what? Is it warranted? Maybe. I don't even know if it is because I've seen the Lions kind of not score sometimes, right?
Is it semi-inflated though from that 86 points total?
Yes, it was 50. It was 51.5 before that game, and it shoots up because of exactly what you just said.
Yeah, 86 points against the Rams. Detroit's been, played Green Bay a 35-31 game.
Yes, but again, before that, 23-20, 24-6. I mean, 52 versus Jacksonville, but 26-23 would have been an under. 24-14 is an under.
Yep.
Listen, you're scoring 52 on Jacksonville, 52 on Tennessee, 47 on Dallas. Bills are a little better than those teams. So I'm not. If this turned into a 40-point, another slugfest like that, so be it. I'm going to have to say under. I think it's an overreaction.
Yeah, me too. Yep, I do too.
Overreaction.
I like a lot of unders this week. I tell you, I like a lot of unders.
Cheer for who you like. I got a Goff ticket for MVP. I got a Lions Super Bowl, win the NFC kind of stuff. So I'm pulling for them, but I'm not going to double up on stuff. No, I'm not going to do that.
This could be a Super Bowl preview right here.
Yeah, it very well could be, yes.
It
is absolutely a preview. Well, I mean, we can't say that. We got to see what happens, but yes.
See what happens. It could be a Super Bowl preview here. Sunday Night Football, Packers at the Seahawks. I know you like the Seattle.
I do.
You like the Seahawks. Is that right? Packers are catching 3?
No, Packers are laying 3. You got it backwards.
Are they? Okay. Oh,
and here's my take on this game.
See,
I like the Packers. No, Packers are favored, which is okay. The Packers are favored. I guess the fact that they played on Thanksgiving, have some extra rest, and Seattle's off a road trip. They won 4 in a row. Kind of a tough little run for them, beating division opponents, Arizona, San Fran, up and down game. They pull one out in New York against the Jets. I like Green Bay first quarter here, plus they're plus 114, minus a half. Now, not at a pick 'em because the pick 'em you're laying 150 or 148. But I want to take Green Bay first quarter here because I could see Seattle coming back. You're back off a road trip. The family's like, hey, you got to get the Christmas light. Where's our Christmas tree? I could see a slow start, right? I could see a slow start out of the first quarter, 7-3, 7-0. But you're going to give me 3 points at home with Seattle. I'm going to take a full game 3 with a home dog. And Green Bay's okay, but they're not a super team. They got their own kind of problems. And to lay on the road versus a team, especially Seattle's a tough place to play.
Yep.
That's no.
And they're playing well. The coaches have got that defense playing at a little higher level.
The offensive line's a problem. Like Geno's numbers aren't great, but he's got guys around him. Like the running backs are doing a job, and the receivers are good. Again, first quarter, I'm taking Green Bay minus a half a point for plus money, and then but you're giving me 3 for the game. I got to take it. I got to take the 3 for Seattle.
Yep. All right. The last 2 losses for the Packers have just been to the Lions. Man, after that, they've been pretty good.
No shame in that.
Yeah, no shame in that. Before that, was like way back to September 29th. They lost to the Vikings.
I mean, the Lions are 12-1.
Yeah. Yep, 12-1. Packers coming in 9-4. Seattle on top of the division, 8-5. As far as the total, I kind of lean over here. I think this might be one of the games that goes over the total. I think both these teams can get to the 20s, mid 20s. All right, Monday Night Football, the struggling Bears.
What's your? You know what?
Yeah.
Over for me here. I like Minnesota, yes, but the Bears are just so desperate. I could see just total craziness here. Give me an over. Darnold threw 5 touchdowns. The offense looks good. It looks way easier to take the Vikings, right? Kind of like the Bears against.
I got an angle on this game though.
On like Thanksgiving, I could see it kind of maybe getting close. Give me the over 44. I'm not gonna.
Let me run a play by you because I like a play on this. And I don't know what the line is yet, but the 2 weeks ago, Bears 2 games ago, they went into the locker room down 16-0 the Lions. last week down 24-0 to the 49ers at halftime. They go in. What about the Vikings first half, -4 or whatever it's going to be?
Yeah, why not? Sure. I had the Bears last week. I went in your chat with Aldo. I'm like, the Bears plays for next week in San Francisco, folks. Take the Bears that week. Yeah, that's where I was looking for the Bears to score a win. San Fran off a road trip, looking terrible. Bears fired a coach, terrible.
No bounce. No bounce.
No. Again, I think it's time to put the fork in them and move
DraftKings has got -3.5 first half. Vikings -3.5.
Take them. Why wouldn't you take them?
I love it. I love that play. Yeah. Yep. All right. I didn't get a free play for you. Let's give away some free plays. But let me roll the thing here. What do you call it? The little stinger. All right. Here we go.
Go for it. Now.
All right. What are you thinking here for a free play?
I got it. So we're going to go Baltimore Ravens -8 first half here over the Giants. Baltimore's coming out of the bye week. The Giants are a disaster. We saw the line go from 12.5 to 13, now up to 16 with DeVito taken behind center now. Steelers on deck. Steelers on deck here. Let's get Baltimore out of the gates early, get up big, and then say, you know, let's coast. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Let's get up big. I think the team total is 14.5 for the first half as well. Over, I think this is going to be like 20-0. Would I be shocked at 21 or even 24? I think Baltimore comes out fast. They can't stop the run, the Giants. Give me Baltimore 8 for the first half and a team total over in this game.
All right.
First half team total over, I should say. You know, so
Ravens -8 first half versus the Giants. All right, I got Cardinals Patriots under 46.5. Also like the Vikings -3.5 first half. But if I change my play, it's going to lose, you know.
Can't do that. Keep it the same, fella. Don't stop changing. You know this. We've taught you this before.
Both these teams are not good on offense, and both the teams are pretty good on defense. Give me 46 and under 46.5 on Saturday, Cardinals Patriots. Does that sound good to you? You like the under in that one or the over?
I you know what I like in this game? I like what's his name? May over rushing yards, whatever his rushing prop is, go over the total there.
So the best, the worst team for allowing quarterbacks to run on them this season has been the Falcons. I don't know what are the Falcons playing this year or this weekend.
The Falcons are playing the Raiders on Monday night. I like the Raiders Monday night, even though I don't even know
who they don't have a running quarterback, so it doesn't matter. But all right, Drake May too in that game. I got the under in this one. All right, Sean, let you get back to everything. Thanks again. We got Willis Towers coming up next. I think. I'm not sure. They might have.
No, they'll be in there whining.
That was the worst. Season. That was the absolute worst performance by a Bears team I've seen in a long time, man. I tell you, just brutal. 24. They had more punts than they did net yards of offense in half.
Why are you guys shocked? The crazy thing is I tune into your shows and you guys are shocked that the Bears stink. Like what? What were you thinking in August, guys? What were you?
We started off 4-2. Now we're 4-9.
We got Caleb Williams. Look at this. We got all this talent. Yeah, okay, guys. All right, sure.
I like what I've seen from Caleb. I think with the right coaching staff, with the right.
Well, there you go. Good luck with that. I made fun of them bringing in the Bryce Young. I'm like, wow, he couldn't do anything with Bryce. Now Bryce Young looks great.
Yeah, but Dave with the right coach.
Maybe the OC was the problem. I joke like, man, look how bad Bryce Young was. Yep. It wasn't Bryce Young was the problem. Maybe it's the guy who you just brought in thought he's going to be the solution.
Coaching means so much.
You got a very important offseason because you know what? In 3 years, you're doing Fields all over again. Yep. It's another who's the quarterback you're bringing in here. Here comes Arch Manning coming in 3 years for you guys.
I look at like some of the offensive plays and some of the blocking schemes were terrible. I watched in that game. Some of the routes, you got three guys all within a 5 to 10 yard area of each other. in the pat where they end up. I mean, come on.
I told you.
Spread the
No
field
one
out.
wants to listen to me in August when I said your coaching staff stunk, but now you're learning it the hard way. Have a miserable Thanksgiving and Christmas, Bears.
I never liked Eberflus. I was like, who? We hired who? Yeah. But the GM can't spot talent either. We're in trouble, you know? I mean, it's another tank year. Top 10 pick.
There you go.
All right, Sean. We'll get out of here. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, a lot of bowls. Take it easy, Tooch.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.